streaming this live on twitch.tv/YDTaeman. If y'all want to follow me there.
I don't believe in different ways of fighting.
Yeah.
We all have 2 arms and 2 legs, so that is why I believe there should be only one way of fighting.
Goro
Clearly,
versus
he never met
Machamp,
these 4-armed
bro.
fighters with 4 forearms.
This fight is
Goro,
gonna
the
be
half-dragon prince of
terrible.
Mortal Kombat.
And Machamp, the fighting-type Pokemon from the Kanto region. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Mortal Kombat!
Do you know who Goro is, bro? Like, you play
The
MK,
fighting tournament is
MK11,
killer as its
but you
iconic
don't
theme
use
song. With a reputation
You gotta
like that,
buy 'em.
you better believe the first boss in the game would be a champion who's won 9 times in a row. He won't just
Batman
kick
is
your
good,
ass,
but did you
he'll
just
rip
see
your
him
arms
being
off
watched by
too.
Spider-Man?
This is Goro, prince of the Shokan
That was
people and
last
one of their
video.
strongest warriors. He's 8 feet 2 inches tall, weighs 550
8
pounds,
foot
and
2.
clocks in at 2,000 years old with no signs of
Wow,
slowing down.
He's been through a hell of a lot during his
Bro, we
run,
need
but
him
here
on
are the
the
highlights. He fought in a civil war, crushed some $500 sunglasses, and oh yeah, he's a half-humanoid, half-dragon person. Who would be stupid enough to fight a half-dragon with 4 arms?
Not many. Most of the
Nah,
Mortal
you
Kombat
do
roster
not watch
refuses to
you,
fight
bro.
Goro because
Even
they're
if you do
terrified
got
of
Goro.
losing to him and getting torn in 2.
After living for as long as he has, you better believe he's picked up some skills. He's got 500 years of experience in Mortal Kombat tournaments and has mastered a ton of different fighting styles.
He's
talking
obviously
about
familiar
Batman,
with the
bro. You the one
Shokan
that's
style,
going
which
on
uses his
about him.
extra appendages to lethal effect. He's also a master of an adapted version of the Kuotan style, which is much more elaborate and relies on the strengths of a more traditional humanoid body.
Like kicks and stuff.
Right.
On top of that, Goro's got a ton of fun tricks up his 4 sleeves, like fireballs,
imagine
dragon
having
breath,
4
high-flying
arms and,
stomps,
like,
quadruple grabs, and his favorite, crushing
Actuality.
skulls. But if those don't work, he's got bladed weapons called Dragon
How would we
Fang.
be living
They're
with
like
4
Shredder's
arms?
claws, but there's 4 of them, 1 for each hand. Oh my god.
Are you okay, Boomstick?
Well, is it
Imagine
weird that
playing
Goro kinda
basketball
reminds me of the
with
guy
4 arms.
that my ex-wife ran off with?
Why, because he's so buff?
Yeah,
Bro,
but
why are
mostly
you
the
still
4
talking
arms.
about
I mean, how am
Batman?
I supposed to
Bro,
keep up
like,
with that?
come on
He's
now.
got 2 more hands than me.
Huh. Sorry.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Goro's gonna watch
with all
the
those
champ,
tournament
bro.
titles, it's pretty clear Goro stands above most other Mortal Kombat combatants, with a K. Characters like
Machamp got
Cabal,
500
Johnny
I
Cage,
said
or even
Machamp. Goro got
Kotal
500
Khan, who
years
once
of
destroyed
experience
this
fighting
ship,
up on his belt, bro.
which is clearly inspired by Spanish
He's gonna
conquistadors.
whoop Machamp
Based on
ass.
historical references to similar
rip off
ships,
all his
the
armor
power
off.
needed to destroy one like this would require over 3 billion joules of energy.
We also saw Raiden destroy this temple with almost 270 tons of TNT, which is a lot. On top of that, Cabal can move fast enough to parry machine gun fire. To pull that off, you'd have to be moving almost 3 times as fast as sound.
Goro's not the only impressive Shokan. The Tiger Stripe Kintaro survived this massive explosion. Using the average height for a Shokan and comparing it to the blast radius, we can posit that this explosion
Bro,
yielded
why are
a
they
force
talking about
equivalent to
blast
over
radius and
25 tons of TNT.
TNT and
The
shit, bro.
Shokan are
Like,
a
this
tough
is a
people,
fight.
that's for sure, and super proud. After a disappointing loss to the
Yeah, like, they
Shaolin
finna
monk
punch
Liu
through
Kang,
goddamn
Goro was unable to secure a 10th
moon
MK
and
title
shit.
in a row. And while it seriously hurt his warrior pride, he didn't stop beating the shit out of people.
God.
Not only did he eventually try to win that title again, but he also fought in multiple wars, including one with the similarly powerful Centurions.
But he never stayed in one place for too long, like when he pissed off Kotal Khan and got his arms ripped off.
But even without
Oh, yeah,
his
Kotal
primary
Khan,
weapons
yeah,
at his
something like
side,
that.
Goro would not
Done
give
made
up.
it.
He even managed to defeat the ninja Kenshi.
Without any freaking arms! God damn! Also, a limbless guy versus a blind guy? Throw Professor X in there and you have yourself the ultimate, and definitely most offensive, crippled threat match.
Wow.
Oh boy, I've got one leg!
With or without his many titles, Goro always has the make of a champion. His determination and will to fight is only
your
matched by
favorite
his
character?
strength, power,
Your
and,
favorite
frankly,
character?
bloodlust.
Damn.
Even with his failures, he truly is the greatest of the Shokan.
I will give you a war.
The only thing you would do with 4 arms, keep it just
Round 1.
tear
Fight!
your dreads apart with the other ones.
The superpower Pokemon Machamp is a fighting type that originated in the Kanto region. They begin their lives as the youthful Machamp, which train tirelessly to learn and eventually master every form of martial arts.
It's a lethal combo of adorable and kick-ass. And they're jacked.
The Machamp possesses muscles more dense than humans that allow them to train for long periods of time without fatigue. Eventually, the young Machamp will reach a new level, leaving behind the days of its youth and evolving into a Machoke.
The Machoke is strong enough to lift dump trucks with ease, and once he's moved on from the teenage days of angst and rebellion, Machoke evolves into the rock spirit Pokemon, Machamp. This four-armed fighter stands 5 feet tall and weighs an average of 280 pounds.
Even after realizing its final evolution, most Machamps continue to train and pursue peak levels of physical fitness.
When they're not firing up sets at the gym, they're most likely helping humans as movers, construction workers, and bodyguards. Or, you know, they're just beating other Pokemon senseless in the dogfighting ring that is the Pokemon world.
Questionable pet and owner relationships aside, Machamp seems to simply enjoy helping people, whether in the Pokemon arena or in the outside world.
And Machamps are well equipped for both. They have a ton of great moves like Bulk Up, which increases physical power, Knock Off, which can knock anything off of an opponent's hands, and Seismic Toss. Whoa, holy shit! Did he just launch that rat into orbit?
Fighting-type Pokemon like Machamp make for fearsome predators against normal, ice, rock, and dark types. Even Steel-type Pokemon turn brittle under Machamp's brute strength. On the other end of the spectrum, Machamp can fall prey to agile flying Pokemon, cerebral psychic types, and mystical fairies.
Man, Pokemon's f***ing weird.
However, the Machamp can always fall back on their natural abilities, the most common of which is named Guts. Whenever a Machamp is burned, poisoned, or paralyzed, its adrenaline spikes, increasing its physical power.
Including his physical moves, which is like all of them. According to the Pokedex, Machamp can punch 1,000 times in 2 seconds and can move mountains with one hand.
Now, the Pokedex isn't always the most reliable source. However, we have seen proof of Machamp's 1,000 punches in Pokken tournaments. To do this in 2 seconds, Machamp must be punching at speeds faster than sound.
Damn, if having 2 extra arms is like shooting fish in a barrel, then this is like baking perfectly good cookie dough. It's like totally unnecessary.
In order to move a mountain, Machamp would need to exert anywhere from 8 to 30 kilotons of TNT. And pulling off their signature move, Seismic Toss, would require even more energy. Considering an average weight of 200 kilograms for any given Pokemon, and the speed at which they travel when thrown, a typical Machamp's throwing power would need to be equivalent to over 130 kilotons of TNT.
Machamps can also take a lot of damage. They live and fight together after all.
As we can see, Machamps and Machokes in particular are raised in herds of their own kind. It's natural that they would fight all the time, exhausting an insane amount of power on each other. And, according to some people, they look great while doing it. There's even a fan club of people who find themselves unexplainably attracted to them. This is real.
Probably run by my ex-wife. We didn't even make it halfway through the reception. I guess my signature move is signing divorce papers.
The Machamp is so strong, the species have become a favorite amongst gym leaders, such as Giovanni and B.
Makes sense! They can go head-to-head with a ton of crazy strong pocket monsters.
The Machamp is an extremely tough Pokemon that rounds out any roster. After all, they literally live to fight.
They really had to animate this one better than all the other ones.
Machamp.
What? You're no Shokan. Be gone from my lair.
Machamp!
Disgusting. A pathetic runt like you
That's how you
wastes
can
our
say the whole
dragon
fight.
blood.
Machamp. Bruh, ain't no way Goro is gonna get wiped out his fucking full-on Pokemon. Slapping his crack his dumb ass. Stomp on the nigga. Wow. That was a fucking move right there. Slap silly. You don't even know what Pokemon is
Like a
doing
warrior.
nowadays. Alright, what would be your Pokemon?
Stop saying
Go
that.
to Google.
You're
find a
no
Pokemon,
champ.
tell me
I
what it's
am the champion of Mortal Kombat.
You can't go really talking to a fucking Machamp. Golly. Bro, well, how is Goro getting his ass whooped by this? Bro, how is this fight still going on, bro? Can't Goro just rip the one off of this fucking Pokemon? Ain't no way. Yeah, beat him with his own arm, bro. How did he lose this fight? You thought this nigga in the Lego pieces, bro? Bro.
Oh, he forgot to say he's blasting off again. Do it over. We gotta get that joke right at least once.
This was
This
certainly
man Goro got
a
his ass
unique
dealt
battle
with.
to experience.
While Machamp's resilience came in handy, Goro's fighting styles continued to put Machamp to the test again and again. Plus, Goro's huge. At 8 feet tall, Goro towers a full 3 feet over the average Machamp. Obviously, not including the Dynamax and Gigantamax forms found exclusively in the Galar region.
Also, while Machamp could punch at Mach 1 speeds, Goro could technically match Cabal, who would need to move at nearly Mach 3 to parry machine gun fire.
So as far as
my
punching
goodness.
speed was concerned, it looks like Goro actually had the advantage.
Except it hardly mattered. Machamp's power output outdid Goro's and then some.
Bro,
Even scaling Goro to Kotal
Goro
Khan's ship
is
feet
a
and
Mortal
comparing it to the seismic
Kombat
toss,
fighter.
Machamp is almost 170,000 times more powerful.
This Karate Duck Man is on a whole other level. Plus, he had a ton of ways to counter everything Goro threw at him.
Imagine losing to
Knockoff
a
prevented
fucking
Goro from using
Pokemon,
weapons, and Guts meant he could take Goro's fire breath and use it for himself.
The Dragon Fangs and Fire Breath hardly would make much of a difference considering how durable the Machamp species is. After all, their primary trait is learning how to fight, so they'd naturally be fighting each other
Bro, that's
quite
what I'm
frequently.
saying, bro.
Ah, the majestic Machamp,
There's a
roaming the
reason I don't
fields
use
of the
Goro on
Kanto
fucking
region,
MK11.
gently
Yeah, he getting
seismic
whooped by
tossing
Machamp.
each other into orbit. Just imagine walking past that on your Sunday stroll.
You were right. The Pokemon world is wild.
This grabby match turned bloody brawl was intense and made me realize that we're all
Yeah.
strong and beautiful just the way we are.
Goro
no matter
was
how
already
many
not
arms you
getting
have
used.
or
He's
whose
never
wife
getting
you
used
stole.
now.
Good for you. While Goro put up an excellent battle that would have made his people proud, he didn't have enough to overpower the superpower Pokemon.
Unfortunately, this foe was forced to forfeit his 4 fists.
Bro,
Fitting
then
his
Machamp get
final
his
fate
ass
would be
dealt with
so
by
freaking
Pikachu.
gory.
So Pikachu,
The winner
okay.
is...
Video over.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Death Battle. If you want the battle music for your